back, everybody. Hey, if you've been following along with us so far, these last couple of videos, thank you guys so much for all the wonderful words of encouragement that we've received, for all the love, the outpouring of gratitude that we've received. Thank you guys so much. The amount of support that we're receiving for this process is just unbelievable. Let me apologize ahead of time. Talking's a little difficult at the moment. I've got pneumonia, but we'll talk more about that here in a second. But if you're new and you've never seen any of my previous videos before, my name is Sean, and I'm a 20-year Army veteran who's getting ready to retire. And my wife and myself and kids are all going into the mission field, and we're going to be doing that at the Brethren in Christ Navajo mission in Bloomfield, New Mexico. And so obviously that's a big transition. And I've mentioned in other videos, we want to help everybody understand, what the process is and just kind of bring everybody along. But one of the questions we got is, hey, what about once you get up there? Well, you know what? I think continuing these videos and showing people kind of a day in the life of a missionary here in the United States, I think will be really beneficial, and it does help bring awareness to the mission as well. One thing that's been kind of on my mind, and that's kind of why this video is late, is my family and I, we need prayers right now. We've been going through some struggles this month, more so than maybe we're used to. Just in the past month alone, my sister lost her husband of 10 years, and they have a couple kids, and so that's pretty rough, especially he was only 31 years old. But I will say that my sister has handled that situation with an amazing amount of strength. The courage that she has shown and the strength that she has is almost unbelievable. And it gives me hope that she's going to be okay. She's going to get through this, and she's going to be, the one that helps her kids navigate this as they continue to grow. And maybe I doubted her a little bit because, I don't know that I expected that. When I received the call, I immediately went down to be with her in Arkansas, and I kind of expected the shell of a person who's been broken, and because that's kind of what you expect when someone loses their spouse, and she is a little broken, but she's continuing to move forward. We've also been kind of stuck in the house the last few days. Kids have been doing homeschooling, which is a little difficult when you're in a smaller quarters. And we've sold our 4,000 square foot house, and we're staying with some family. And I mean, we've got more than enough room, but we're a little more compact than maybe my family's been used to. And as you can see, we kind of got snowed in here in this picture, and it's probably doesn't seem like a lot of snow to maybe people that live in the north, but here in Missouri, they just don't have the infrastructure to kind of deal with that. So that's been a struggle. And then I've also, like I said, caught pneumonia over the past week, and I'm still trying to recover from that. And all the while, we still have, a lot of responsibilities. My wife and I are both still working. My wife hasn't left her job just yet. She's still got a couple of weeks before she begins to transition. And I'm currently, still in the military, working full time. And at the same time, I'm currently going through the ordaining process for the Brethren in Christ. And I'm in a class right now for that as part of their seminary program. I'm in a theology of salvation class, which has been a blast, by the way. It's been so much fun. But when you compile all that down in 1 month, it can tend to be a bit overwhelming. But I think in those times of stress, where it feels like we can't keep our head above water, that's when we turn to our faith, or when we need to turn to our faith in a bigger way. Jesus says that we're to to lay down our problems, take up His yoke because it is light. And that's what we're trying to do right now. My family has lived by this motto for the last several years. Here I am, and it's kind of funny because um, the idea behind this "Here I am" actually came from my young children. I'm talking back when my teenage boys that are now grown, or when they were in probably middle school, and my daughter was probably in elementary school, maybe kindergarten, first grade, something like that. But we were doing a family Bible study that was about an 8 or 9 week study program. And we were going through various stories in the Bible, and what the kids found, they found this commonality, that every time God appeared to somebody, the individual said, "Here I am," or "Here am I." It depends on, the translation that you're using. If you're using King James Version, it may sound a little different. I think we were studying out of the NIV at the time. But this idea of "Here I am," stepping out in faith. When you look at Abraham, you look at Moses, they all had the same thing: "Here I am." And that's what we want to do. We know that God has called us into the missionary field. So we want to be good servants. We want to, respond to that call, and step out in faith, and say, "Here I am." And so that's what we're trying to do right now. And in those times of struggle, when things seem darkest, that is always something that I've kind of held on to. I had a pastor once tell me that it's not that amazing that the bush was burning and not being consumed. So that's not that amazing. What is amazing is that Moses recognized Jesus, or recognized God in the bush. And that seemed pretty powerful to me. Because it's not about the burning bush, although that's miraculous in itself. It's about the fact that Moses recognized God in the bush. And I think there's a lesson there for all of us, that sometimes you've got to be on the lookout, and recognize your burning bush. So that's what we're trying to do right now. So like I said, over the next several weeks, we've got the wedding for my brother-in-law coming up. We've got my son's basic training graduation. So we have a lot of moving pieces. And then, once we get through those, then we're going to be into spring break. And then before you know it, we're moving up to the reservation. And then we're going to have some other things up there. We're going to take a week and probably go to Disney and do some other things, and spend some family time, maybe that we've missed out on, because sometimes it's kind of hard to find that time when you're in the military. So we want to take some time out and do that. But we look forward to bringing everybody along. And the other thing that we've gotten asked a lot is, and I mentioned this in the last video, is how can we get involved? How can you get involved? Well, I mean, the easiest way is liking, sharing, subscribing to these videos. That way we tell people about it and we get the word out. And we're going to try to do some other stuff as well. I'm speaking at, our home church here in March. I'll be speaking about the mission and what we're going to be doing up there. And so, there's opportunities there as well. So we're really just looking for more people to get involved and get the word out. And then, maybe, if you've got a youth group that's looking for a place to do summer camp, this would be an awesome opportunity for youth groups. And I keep pushing that if we can get more youth groups involved up there at the mission, coming up there and doing, summer camp where they have time for worship and time for study, and then maybe they go out in the community and do some servant type stuff. I think that would be huge, and it'd be such a blessing to the community as well as to youth. Because let's face it, like the youth are the future, and the only way that things are going to get better is by pouring godly words into our youth. So again, thank you so much. If you guys have any questions at all, or you have any comments about, what we're going through, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you guys, and God bless.